Hey, welcome back everybody, and thanks for joining me for Module 2. And today we're going to look at what I'm calling the 4 strategic pillars of marketing. Now, if you do Google searches and you just search for pillars of marketing, you're going to get lots of differing results. And according to which person you align with in the field of marketing, it's going to range from anywhere between 4 and 7 pillars. But I particularly like these ones because it's nice and simple, and for me it captures very, very well what you need to be considering for you to be contributing to your success in the field of marketing. Now, number one, and this ties back to module number 1 to some extent of the mindset, is vision. So this is a very, very important part, and I'm going to dive in a little bit more when we get on to that particular subject. The second one is your unique selling proposition, or USP. You're probably familiar with that term, but it is definitely applicable in your journey as an affiliate marketer. The next one is your target prospect. Now, a lot of people have an issue with this, and you'll see it frequently documented if you're regular on Facebook or any other platform for that matter. People really struggle with this, but we're going to go into a little bit more detail about this component. And then fourth is understanding the buyer's journey. This is really so critical, and this is where a lot of people on Facebook go wrong. You've probably seen it yourself. You get incoming direct messages completely cold. The person who's originated the conversation really has no idea about who you are, where you're at, and whether you actually are interested in the particular product that the person is trying to pitch. This, in my view, and it is only my view, is absolutely the worst way to go about marketing. It's just not cool whatsoever. It's scammy. It shows absolutely no intellect from the person who's undertaking that activity. Not necessarily blaming them, because I know that there's so-called mentors, and that's a bit of a joke in itself to call them that, but they are actually teaching that method. They're teaching the numbers game. Just blast people's inboxes with crap and shit and hope that it's the old spaghetti trick, as the lawyers would say. Hope that you just chuck the spaghetti against the wall and just hope that some of it sticks. It's a real time-consuming activity, and in my view, it's completely and utterly hopeless, and all you're going to do is just put people's backs up, because no one wants to be bombarded with crap that they don't want to buy. So this is absolutely fundamental to your success. It's working with these two together, targeting your prospect and understanding the buyer's journey. Okay, so let's dive now into each of those components a little bit more. Number 1, vision. Now, I think it's safe to say that if you're new to affiliate marketing, some people are going to struggle with what their vision is, and each person is likely to have their own vision. This is kind of connected with when people say your why. Why are you doing it, first and foremost, and where do you want to be? Where you want to be is your vision. So I asked a question when you was incoming into the group. Really, what's your goal? Your goal is your vision, and most of you have defined mathematical numbers, finances. This is where you want to be. This is what you want to earn. But realistically, the money is a byproduct of your journey. You really should be focusing on delivering a solution to your target customer's problem. And you do that by getting to know them. It's the know, like, and trust. Some people say that's crazy. You don't need to do it. You just direct pitch. Forget that. I've never found, and I've been doing marketing for years, way before any affiliate marketing. I do it as my main business, and I've been very successful at it. And you cannot really, unless you're very, very lucky, sell something to someone who doesn't know you, doesn't know the product, and are probably not even aware that they need that particular product. Okay, so things that you want to really get your head around, and it's a bit of mind shift. Okay, drop the word selling. Get familiar with the word recommendation. Okay, now again, just jumping back, one of the early posts before these modules was a suggestion for a book, $1.13 or 14 cents by Alex Hormozy. I know I keep ramping on about it, but for $1, you're going to get tremendous value. And he touches on all these things. You know, some of it is from other mentors as well. But it's just so powerful. The mind shift of a kind of forceful sell mentality rather than the recommendation. People are much more open to that type of conversation, and it ties in with your vision. Where do you want to be? Okay, so have a really good think about that. What do you want to achieve? Better if you can put a timeline on it, identify your why and where you want to be. The byproduct is money. Definitely still focus on that and have that in the back of your mind. But if you set your vision based on solving people's problems, identifying where your target or dream customers hang out, identify them, work with them, build a relationship, and it's all business at the end of the day, but people like to engage with people that they trust. Okay, and really that's just so powerful in itself. Okay, put yourself in the position, right? Someone comes up to you, no idea, right? No idea about you, and they're trying to pitch you. What do? Your barriers go up, right? It's natural because it's like an invasion. It's like someone breaking into your house. You don't want it. You don't need it. Okay, but if someone's working with you and they're trying to help you, and they're suggesting and they're recommending, then how much more open are you going to be when they've got something powerful that aligns with what you actually want? I'm not saying you're definitely going to buy it, but you're much more open, and that's the way that you want to consider it. You're building relationships. You're building it for the long term. Okay, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. Okay, so I think that's enough about that. If anyone has any questions on any of these points, by the way, feel free to reach out. I've left the Voxer or just DM me. I don't mind either way, because it's important that you get some clarity around these basic concepts, because it will be the pillars, and that's a very apt word to building your foundation to move on more successfully. Okay, so number 2 was your unique selling proposition. Now you'll hear big companies all the time. What's their unique selling proposition? It's this, it's that, and they spend a lot of time and they spend a lot of money with smart, intelligent people working out what the market is going to respond to. But in the affiliate marketing space, for me, your USP is very, very simple. It's you, okay? Because if you look at the space of affiliate marketing, it's just full of everybody trying to compete to sell the same things. Okay, so what makes the difference? There's only one of you, okay? You can't replicate that. You just can't. It's impossible. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. So your brand, which we're going to cover in other modules, and you is your USP. And you need to find a way to distinguish yourself from what everyone else in the pack is doing, okay? Now, if any of you have been into programs, then you're probably going to be familiar with, the red ocean and the blue ocean concept. Everyone is fishing in that red ocean, right? They're applying for the same prospects. They're using the same stupid techniques of cold DMing and just trying to spam everybody for attention. Buyers, if they are buyers, have got heaps of opportunities. Is the market saturated? Well, to some extent, yes, it is. But for those common products. But what the market is not saturated with is people taking their own perspective on things, looking at what the others are doing, and to some extent going in the other direction. Okay? And again, it boils back to there's only one of you, and if you can hone in on your target customer, your dream customer, and work with solutions to their problem, then you're pushing yourself from that red ocean into that blue ocean. And blue oceans are where all your other competitors have disappeared, but you're still left with prospects. Okay? Is it easier to fish? Well, Not necessarily. You still have to work hard. You still have to have a process and a technique that resonates. But once you're in the blue ocean, you've built probably that know, like, and trust with people. You've shifted to some extent their beliefs, and you can work with them in a much more open, positive environment where the opposition is not there trying to infiltrate and bombard them as well, and excuse the French, but just piss them off. So think about that. Your unique selling proposition is you. Okay, that for me, that's the definition. If your company is Coca-Cola, your unique selling proposition is something completely different. But for affiliate marketers, your USP is you. Okay, so your target prospect. Now, at the beginning, I did mention that, a lot of people struggle with this, and I see that in, I go in different groups, and I'm always looking for new groups where prospects will be, where other marketers are not in, because that's a new blue ocean for me. But your target prospect has to align with what you've decided in this slide here, which is vision. It has to align with your vision. What have you set your target as? Are you going to be a high-ticket affiliate marketer? Are you going to sell Warrior Plus products? Are you going to sell ClickBank products? How you deliver it is something else that we're going to cover in other modules. But how do you identify that prospect? Well, you do it by, first and foremost, understanding what problem you want to solve. What's your speciality? What gets you excited? What do you love? What problem can you solve? So, for example, if your niche is, and I know most of you are into make money online, but if your niche was, weight loss, for example, then, you're not going to be going into ClickFunnels looking for people interested in weight loss necessarily, although, you may target people based on, their pictures or whatever, but that's not necessarily a good way to do it. What you're going to do is you're going to look for groups that are specifically having people that are interested in weight loss, and that group might be, weight loss tips, for example. So that's what you need to do. You need to understand what your speciality is. You need to understand what your niche is. You need to tie it in with your vision, and then you need to define what your dream customer is. Okay, so your dream customer is a person that's looking to make $1,000 a month, for example, and that prospect is currently making $0. Where are they going to be? Okay, just go into Facebook. If Facebook is your main activity, then go into Facebook and look for groups that have that pack of people, or potentially have that pack of people, and then follow what your programs have taught you. And if I think most of you have done programs from different mentors, and that's fine. There's a lot of good ones, and I think most of you that are with me on these modules have been in programs with what I would consider to be good mentors. So follow their techniques on how to engage in those groups. You're looking to build relationships with people that are putting their hands up to having a problem. So they'll post something like, hey, I've got a problem. The problem is XYZ. Does anyone know what the answer is? And you can just drop a comment, right? Don't get cheesy or salesy. You're just looking to deliver value. You say, hi, whatever the person's name is. Saw you posted. I've got a few bits and pieces that can help you. More than willing to share. Let me know. Okay, and just leave it like that. You're not pushing people. You're not invading their space. You're leaving it with them. You're planting the seed. And if they come back to you, you can build a relationship. Then you can take it into Messenger. Or, maybe they're going to come back and say, oh, thanks, but I'll think about it, or whatever. Now, if they're engaging with you, that's a lead, in my view. Okay, so you can still start to work on building that relationship, not necessarily add them as a friend straight away, because again, you don't want to be like coming across as overpowering, but just make a note, follow them. What are they up to? Are they posting other comments in other areas? And just even if it's not related to what you're trying to achieve with that particular target, you might just drop a love, a heart on a post where they've engaged about something else. You're just creating that connection, and that person's seeing that. Oh, don't be overpowering, don't be stalky either, because you'll scare people off. But just be nice, be human, be kind. Treat people like you would want to be treated yourself. Okay. So hopefully that's given you a little bit of clarity about your target prospect. And again, if you've got any questions or that's still not making sense, come back to me, and I'll more than happily work with you on a bit more one-to-one with that, because I know it's an area that people struggle with. I thankfully I never had that problem, because it made sense to me, but I do understand that for some people it can be a bit challenging. Okay, so it's absolutely fine to put your hand up about that. Okay, now the last one is the buyer's journey. This one's a little bit more complicated. Now, I'm gonna introduce first, I guess, the awareness stages. Now, again, if you've done programs, then you may be aware of these components. I'm not too sure, but the awareness stages are customers that are completely unaware that they've got a problem, unaware of any solutions, so completely in the dark. Okay. The next set are problem aware, so they're aware that they've got a problem. So going back to the weight loss niche, they're aware that they're overweight, right? I mean, it's obvious, and they know it. Okay. Another problem may be that they've got into affiliate marketing. They've done it for 2 months, and they've invested, let's say, $2,500 into a program, and they're getting nowhere. Okay, they've been through all the modules. They think that they've taken it all on board. They're trying. They're taking action, but they're just not getting anywhere. Okay, so they're problem aware, and then you've got solution aware. So people are aware that there is a solution to their problem. So, for example, you want to make money, and you're aware of, let's say, legendary marketing, or Jonathan Montoya's program, or Jacob Karas's program. You're aware of a potential solution. Okay, and then product aware kind of ties in with the solution. It's a specific product, so I probably jumped the gun a little bit in my solution aware by defining those programs. But your products, they're aware of those. They're aware of the solution, that there's issues that can solve their problem, and moreover, they're more focused on a particular product. And then stage 5 is they actually buy. Okay, so they're the awareness stages. Now, obviously, if you're marketing 1 through to 5, number 1 is the hardest, right? Because they're just not aware. They're not aware that they have a problem. They're not aware of a solution, and they're not aware of any product. But equally, it gives you the ability to chip in. Okay, it's more likely that you're going to be resonating and dealing with people that are stage 2 onwards. Okay, so they're problem aware. They know that they've got a problem, and then it's your marketing skills that's going to get them through the stage 3 and 4, which is solution and product, and then into stage 5, where they actually buy from you. Now, the buyer's journey is how they actually go about that. Okay, so if you want to do a Google search for McKinsey, and just type into Google McKinsey customer journey, you'll get some scientific basis and description as to what this actually means. Now, for me, this is really good to understand, and I suggest that you go away and do your own research into customer journey. There's a few different options, but McKinsey is probably the most current one that's documenting the old method of the customer journey, and now what McKinsey considers to be the new customer journey stages. And it's so important to tie the buyer's journey into the awareness stages, because then you'll have an understanding to some extent. There's more to it, but the more advanced stuff I'm going to leave out of these basics. But it all ties in, and you'll have a much better understanding of how your potential customer is thinking. Other components that are probably more advanced are psychographics. So you can search these through Google of your own free will, because any information that you don't already have on these is gonna help you. Demographics, who your buyer is. Okay. Psychographics, by the way, is the study of consumers based on what they do, their interests and options. Your customer journey, which we are speaking about, your buyer's journey. What's called the vehicle. What method are they using to solve their problem? Okay, so your vehicle might be, let's say if you bought Legendary Marketer, your vehicle is Legendary Marketing to get you from a newbie, zero knowledge, into the field of affiliate marketing foundation course, right? Marketplace is another one where everybody kind of hangs out, and then skills, knowledge, and assets of that customer and consumer. So, it can get quite complex, which is why I've really wanted to keep it simple. Buyer's journey. Again, Google search McKinsey customer journey and the awareness stages we've gone through. Really good to understand these components, because it gets you a little bit more into the mind of your buyer, and it ties in with your target prospect, and it should be tying in also from your vision downwards. If you've set your vision, then you know more about where you need to go for your target customers, and that process of how your customers are going to traditionally respond to all of those factors. Okay, so with all that said, we're going to wrap up now. I hope that you found that of interest, and I didn't go on and ramp on for too long. And again, can't repeat enough, if you have any questions on any of this whatsoever, just reach out. More than happy to help. Okay, thanks very much. See you in the next module.